Okay, so it seems like there's been a little bit more to the Genshin Impact situation, which has been going on, and there's been something that has kind of popped up in a kind of news article, which I thought was very interesting. And well, I know a little bit about it, and I know what has actually gone on with this situation. And it seems like they're trying to kind of spread this information at a time when people are going already pretty crazy over this voice actor stuff. If you don't know, at the moment there's been a lot of drama with the voice actor strikes, which have been going on in Genshin Impact and stuff like that. And even, you know, this video from Joe, who is a voice actor for Risley, even points out the fact that this isn't really even a strike, it's more of just a kind of group decision from a lot of voice actors over at Hoyoverse to actually, you know, stop working, which again isn't actually a fully official strike because it's non-union and stuff like that, which again gets very, very confusing. And if you guys want to go back and look at some of the previous videos to get fully up to date on that, I'll make a playlist actually fully of every single video in order to so you guys can keep up with like everything that's going on, including, you know, the Paimon voice actor actually crashing out, and also the Kuching voice actor crashing out and eventually deleting their Twitter account, which again was kind of funny. And obviously, yeah, there's been many articles made about this by other you know, places, including this PC Gamer one, which was completely wrong. And it's kind of ironic because they were talking about the AI protection stuff going on, and it seems like they've used AI for the actual article themselves. So they're saying, oh, this AI protection stuff is so bad, and then use AI themselves, which is kind of crazy. But again, I actually came across this Game Rant article, which came out just the other day, which obviously, oh no, it came out on the 15th of March, sorry. And this has been coming up in the kind of feed with a lot of the other kind of Genshin Impact SAG-AFTRA stuff. And people have been kind of getting a little bit, I guess, misinformed, or I guess mistimed, because it's not misinformed because this stuff actually did happen. It was just something that happened a couple of weeks ago that doesn't have any correlation to do with the SAG-AFTRA thing. But I did want to talk about it because it is very interesting, because it shows you that Genshin Impact is, you know, ready to replace voice actors very, very easily, with a new Genshin Impact character's voice actor already being replaced. Now they say a Genshin Impact character is seeing one of their voice actors, a Genshin Impact character is seeing one of their voice actors being replaced before the character has even officially been revealed for release. The massively popular RPG from Hoyoverse features a wide array of characters for players to meet, both as a part of its sizable playable roster and including plenty of NPCs as well. Now, obviously, they keep going on to talk about some of the other characters coming to the game, like Varessa and Ianson, and then they say, while he is yet to officially appear in the game, Genshin Impact's Aoife has been the subject of plenty of rumors. So again, this is an NPC that has appeared up in Natlan, who is, you know, rumored to get a playable character, and I'm pretty sure it was announced. It has been announced now that he's going to be a playable character, and obviously a lot of people were very excited because they heard his voice and everything. And he also got revealed in one of the latest updates, and having, you know, I guess, you know, they saw what he actually looked like. Now, they say a post to Genshin Impact's official Japanese Twitter account reveals that a Japanese voice actor for Aoife will be changed during version 5.5. The update confirms that Shotaro Morikubo will be stepping down from the role of Aoife for his first in-game Genshin Impact appearance, with Junta Terashima taking on the role in his place. The post does not confirm a specific reason for Morikubo's departure, simply citing various circumstances behind his kind of departure, which, yeah, was very fishy. And obviously, if you guys have seen in the past, Ryuku actually made an entire video about this. I think it's actually unlisted now. And he also made like a follow-up video to it as well. And a lot of people are speculating, and I think it still is speculation, that it was this voice actor's involvement on something, on like he voiced in a different project, which was pretty much a book that was very negative about the CCP and about China and things like that. And it pretty much explains a lot of the bad things that are going on over there. I don't want to get too far into it. I don't want to get too political about it because, again, you know, it is a pretty bad thing that's going on. But obviously, you know, it is a very sensitive subject, especially in China, to the point where they will, you know, fire this guy for even talking about it, which, again, is pretty crazy. Now, obviously, yeah, they say the departure of Shotaro Morikubo from the role of Aoife will see the iconic Japanese voice actor leaving the RPG. Morikubo has worked with the anime and games industry as a voice actor for nearly 3 decades. So that guy is a pretty, you know, he's a respected voice actor. He's been in the field for a long time, and it doesn't really make too much sense as to why he'd be kicked out for any other reason apart from the one that I just mentioned. Now, they say with some of his most iconic roles being in like like Naruto and stuff like that, and you know, in Persona 4. And then they say that Junta Terashima is most known for, you know, roles in Boruto and stuff like that. They say Aoife's first in-game appearance with Genshin Impact is set to come during a jam-packed update. And yeah, they don't really go too much into detail as to why he was fired. But again, I will definitely leave a link down below to the Ryuku video talking about it in more detail if you want to know exactly what happened. I don't feel like, you know, I feel like it could be a kind of muddy water to kind of talk about in this video, because again, it is such a sensitive topic over in China. But again, he pretty much called out the Chinese government. That's all I can really say for stuff that has happened over there. You know, well, he's worked on a project that's called that out, and I think that has angered, you know, the Genshin Impact kind of board or whatever, and they've had to replace him because, again, you know, Genshin Impact, you know, gets involved heavily with the Chinese government and things like that in terms of acquiring funding. I'm pretty sure Dewey is even involved in the overall board over at the CCP. So again, yeah, it does get pretty bad, and obviously it's just showing you that Genshin Impact is very, very capable of replacing their voice actors. You know, they're not scared to actually do it. Now, obviously, maybe it's a Japan only thing, and the EN board are a little bit more scared to do it. But, you know, with all of the kind of people crashing out on Twitter, for example, like Karina and Kaylee and stuff like that, going absolutely crazy over, you know, some really small things, it just proves that, you know, Genshin Impact one day could just snap their fingers and they'll be gone. You know, they'll find a replacement pretty easily. Obviously, you know, this person has come along and took the job. Now, no one's actually attacked this person for taking the job, by the way, which is kind of crazy, because I feel like what this person is actually fighting for is even more of a noble cause, I would say, and people aren't, you know, going after this guy who took his job, which should be the right thing, by the way. We shouldn't be going after this guy. He's just, you know, wants the job and everything like that. But we haven't seen any kind of outcry from that, but we have from someone replacing someone that wasn't doing their job. It's like, okay, you know, this dude was actually doing his job and he's willing to do his job. And yeah, so I think it's kind of crazy, you know, the different kind of differences that these voice actors have whenever it comes to like attacking certain people for certain things. And obviously a lot of people have been getting fed up of a lot of these voice actors recently, with the Paimon voice actor and yeah, the Kuching voice actor, with Kaylee specifically at the moment. Kaylee has been definitely under fire. I've seen a lot on my Twitter timeline and everything like that talking about her and saying how she's been pretty much, I guess, stalking this one guy, Jacob Takanashi, who actually is the new Kenichi voice actor, and saying that, you know, they're stalking him, which is crazy, you know. And I do think that's kind of true. You know, she was talking about how, you know, he's got a house and how he can afford it because he bought a house, and his you know, his wife is probably you know, the breadwinner in the kind of your family and whatever. It's like, that's like almost stalking, you know, to the point where you find out that he has a new house. Well, I don't even want to say almost stalking. It pretty much is, you know. Going into someone's personal life like that is pretty crazy, especially for a professional, I'll put in quotation marks, professional voice actor. And hopefully Genshin Impact do go ahead and look through all of this and look through everything they've done and give them the appropriate response. Because, you know, I feel like it would be pretty bad if Hoyoverse were just to go, oh well, you know, they voiced for us, oh well. You know, we don't really care, because I feel like it is a pretty big issue going into other voice actors' lives like that pretty heavily. It's just like, bro, what the hell? And so, again, maybe it is just a process for Hoyoverse at the moment, going through all of the things that they've actually been saying online, because, again, it can have an effect on their career. But, again, as I said, this article proves that, you know, they are not afraid to go ahead and fire and replace voice actors due to stuff going on, you know, in outside kind of circumstances, you know, because as I said before, it's not like this guy didn't want to work. It's not like this guy, you know, didn't want to, you know, work on Genshin Impact or anything like that. No, he was willing to work. It was just due to some other outside sources and what he's been working with and what he's been saying, which can be, you know, pretty detrimental to what he's doing. And, you know, the same could be said for the EM voice actors if they do eventually get fired, which, again, could be crazy. You know, there's a lot of people in the comments, especially on these videos that I've been making, saying that they want, you know, the Paimon voice actor to be fired, Kuching's voice actor to be fired, which, again, I think they're totally okay in saying that. You know, I feel like they have caused a lot of problems in the community, especially recently, but also in the past as well, in terms of starting up a ton of drama, which, you know, Genshin Impact just doesn't really need at this time. And it seems like even Genshin Impact players, you know, the really annoying ones over on TikTok and Twitter and places like that, I'm sorry you guys, but you are kind of annoying. they're getting fed up with them too. Like, I've seen so many TikToks on my feed of people being like, oh, you know, I can't believe what Karina did. I can't believe what, like, it's kind of surprising, you know. I felt like, oh, maybe the Genshin community would be against a lot of people and would be against like me and other people covering this kind of topic because it's Genshin. They would just like follow it blindly. But actually, people have been listening and people have been, you know, finding more about the situation and actually being on the side of Hoyoverse, which is a first. And I think what the situation has done has brought a ton of people together and actually gotten everybody on Hoyoverse's side, which I don't think anyone was expecting ever. But yeah, overall, I just wanted to point out this overall article because, again, it is something that has happened recently. You know, it only happened last month, you know, like 2 weeks ago or so. And again, it is a pretty serious situation of a voice actor being replaced. And, you know, some people were confused on whether this was to do the SAG-AFTRA stuff. No, this is a Japanese voice actor. This is nothing to do with English voice acting. So yeah, it's something completely separate, but it does kind of, you know, add on to the point of everything going on with voice actors and Hoyoverse in their stance on firing voice actors for doing dumb stuff, either online or, you know, this guy wasn't actually dumb. Sorry, that was a kind of poor wording. I don't think this guy was dumb in what he did. It was just like, they don't care about firing someone that is against them or that says something bad that could affect them or whatever. So again, it was just that kind of ease of stuff that is going on. And yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this, because again, it's very, very interesting. And, you know, with all of the stuff going on at the moment, it's very interesting to add this article into the mix and talk about whether, you know, they could actually be replacing some of the Genshin Impact voice actors very, very soon. But yeah, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.